Good morning, Blue Lulus. How you doing? I'm pissed. Following an incident yesterday where a 27-year-old man opened fire on an ICE facility, Tom Homan came out and said that it is the responsibility of us on the left to turn the temperature down. Stop calling us Yahtzees and racists because things are getting out of hand. No. Hard fluffin' no, Tim Homan. It's our responsibility to turn the temperature down. Yeah, get fluffed, bro. Absolutely not. If you don't want to be called a Yahtzee, then maybe you should stop carrying out ethnic cleansing and racially motivated G-side, and that will solve the whole fluffin' problem. You know what? You're not a Yahtzee. You're right. You're the Temu version of Yahtzeeism. You're worse. Because at least when the mustache man came into power, he was there responding to an actual economic problem. Their currency was so bad, their inflation was so out of control that people were taking their money in wheelbarrows to the grocery store because their currency had been rendered effectively useless. Y'all were so upset that your 3-egg omelet had to drop down to a 2-egg omelet in order to stay the same price that you are now taking the people who harvest and grow and cultivate our food and putting them in fluffin' cages. You're worse. You're not organized, you're not polished, and God knows that stupid orange fluff could never grow a beard or a mustache. You are worse. The German military at least understood that what they were doing was wrong. They tried to shield their own military from it. There's an image going around right now of the German soldiers looking and seeing what actually happened in these camps, and they're horrified. Their eyes are covered, they're like bent over, some of them, blah. But y'all don't even want to do that. You want to have it be a pay-per-view spectacle. It's disgusting. The Joker came out yesterday and he was like, we're now gonna have these camps all over the place. Like Alaska has grizzly bears and they want to have Grizzly Bears Rikers. It's not really a catchy name, but that might work. Grizzly Bear Gulag. There's your alliteration, douchebag. Trademark. And then Nancy Mace came out and she was like, yeah, over here in South Carolina, we've got gators too and they hate paperwork. Why don't we just go ahead and get this thing going? You're disgusting. And as a bunch of douchebags dressed up like they're playing Call of Duty, holding paintball guns, mounted on blindfolded horses, marched into a park yesterday just to scare the crap out of people and snatch people off the streets and send them to these awful places. And you're mad that we're calling you names? Get the fuck out of here. And it's not just us that are saying this. I saw a video that was stitched by Good Trouble today. I'm not going to put the person who said this stuff anywhere near my page, but he is this dumb hick that is just sitting there like, you know what? When I was a kid and I was watching the speeches from that there mustache man, I just thought that he looked so menacing. He looks so mean and so angry, but now, with the advent of AI, they can translate those speeches, and you know what? He had a lot of good points. He was talking about God. He was talking about how women are important in our country and how their culture was stolen from them, and now I'm thinking, maybe we were on the wrong side of history. Oh my God. Are you serious? Your father and your grandfather are ashamed of you. They are absolutely rolling over in their grave. We shouldn't have to say this, but World War II was one of the worst things that happened to the entire globe. In the history of all of recorded history, it was one of the worst things that had ever happened. American lives were lost by the tens of thousands. Young boys were sent from here over there, and they died in ditches to prevent this from happening again. And you're over here like, well, I like God too. You're also fluffing dumb, and I hate feeling like that. I hate saying that. It's not who I want to be inside, but that is where I am right now. You want us to stop calling you names? Hard no. Hard no. You do need to face the consequences of your actions, and if they're social, oh, well. You think that millennials cut their parents off at an alarming rate? Just wait until these little honey badgers grow up and they see the true breath of all of the horror and the chaos that you have brought about this land. And they could see what our country was before versus whatever wasteland will be left over by the time they come of age. Y'all will never see a grandchild. You will never have anybody be able to take care of you in your old age, because God knows there won't be any funding for elder care by then. Unless we stand up and we do something and we get together. We're not going to do it by just pretending as if you're not doing exactly the same thing, but worse, than happened in the 30s. Do you remember what actually brought that entire conflict to an end? There was a mushroom involved, a big cloudy mushroom. So yeah, we're going to keep talking about it as long as we possibly can. And trust me, I understand the risk that I am taking to myself and to my family by continuing to talk about it. I know what happened to the dissenters back then, and I am not pretending as if I don't know that that could happen to me, but I will never shut up about it. Absolutely never, and neither should you. Get the fluff out of here, Tom Homan.